Hello, how are you? Every once in a while I do this, a meet the artist in quotes. I don't really like calling myself an artist because I don't really feel represented by it. It's a complicated thing to explain. I prefer calling myself an illustrator or painter depending on what I'm doing. So I will be doing a meet the in quotes artist this time. Every once in a while I do this. I don't know why it takes me a few years to do a new one of these. Probably because I'm not really the person to talk about myself. There actually is a lost one that I did back in 2019, one that I will never find again, so let's pretend it doesn't exist. But the first one I made was in 2020, which honestly kind of depressing. The way I talk about myself looking back at it now, you might look at it and be like, oh, there's nothing wrong here, but I I can see things that are wrong. First of all, me calling myself lazy. I'm quite literally anemic, okay? Anemic. Did I even say that right? I don't know. I have an iron issue in my blood, okay? I'm, in quotes, lazy. I don't have energy because I can't. I barely have the energy to stay up. Help. Anyways, yeah, and the second one was in 2023, 3 years later. So, I don't know. I just every few years I do these. I don't have the tendency to talk about myself. Okay. If you might know or not, what am I saying? If you didn't know, I am a person that is usually very reserved. I usually show my illustrations and sometimes talk about my stories. More so this year that I started doing that more openly. Back in the day, I just kind of referenced it more than anything. I didn't directly talk about it. But I was never the one to talk about myself. I was kind of just a hidden person behind an account. But I want to open up a bit more. Why? So that people hate me or something, I don't know. So I still kind of agree with the 2023 one. I didn't change that much. I just like to believe that I matured. That my piece of shit life in the bottom corner is sad, seeing it now. Jesus. If you didn't know, 2023 was not my year, okay? Let's just put it at that. Maybe someday, if and whenever I open up a bit more, maybe we'll get into a video of where I talk about mental health, okay? But let's just say 2023 was not my year. I still like the 2023 one. It's really cute. In some aspects, I might even like it more than the new one, which is sad. But from 2023 to now, I like to believe I matured, as I said. I bite back to bitches who disrespect me because I'm not fucking around anymore. I might be a bit mad, okay, at the world, but look, if I ever do that video talking about my friendships over the years, you will understand, okay? But let's just talk about stuff, okay? Funny how in 2023 I didn't like folk and country music. I still am not really into folk, but I can tolerate more country. I like some songs that are inspired by country music, but overall, I still wouldn't really choose it, if I have to say so. I did not include a bag this year because I don't really go out, so I don't really wear bags. In 2023, I used to go out, and I really like this one. How do you say? I don't know what this material is, but this weaving? I don't know how to speak today. This little bag that I have, I'm actually staring at it right now. It's right on top of me. Don't ask why it's on top of me, okay? I still love photography, and I wish that I was better at it, just like with cinematography, but I don't really have the means to get better at it. By myself, I don't have many materials, and I don't know. I should actually watch maybe tutorials on how to get better at it. You can make amazing things with the few things that you have. I just don't put enough effort into it because I don't have enough time. I could, but I don't. But I wish I was. Funny how in 2023 and 2020 I had that same pose that I used to have. I always stood in this very harsh stance back then. this year I finally relaxed a bit, kinda. So, I don't know. I still think that 2023 has more movement than this year. I don't know why. But at least I relaxed. I'm not just constantly in this angry pose anymore. I also did not include a dark purple I use as a black in my favorite colors this time because I use it as quote-unquote black, and black is a value, not a color, so I stopped doing that and just include the colors that I use most of the time, which is purple, red, and just light bluish. I like it. I think it's cute. I gave myself socks because I wear socks almost all the time, and also people are freaky. I'm not going to give you free toes on the internet. Stop. I have a thing, okay? So now let's get into more so on this year, what I like and what I don't. The thing is, I don't really like or dislike things. I either obsess over things or I'm completely indifferent towards stuff. There's not usually an in-between, so I tried including things that I dislike, of course. But those are usually things that, well, everyone dislikes. So, my obsessions... no face again. Slenderman. Oh god. My obsessions / likes... Liu, always. Love of my life. My man. My bro. No, wait. Hold on. Hold on. No, this reminds me of brother, cousin, sister, stepfather. If you watched a certain Raft series, you will know. Anyways, Liu, my beloved. Singing and music, which are, I think... I don't know if it's obvious. I like singing and I like music. Storms, especially tornadoes. Been obsessed with them since I was like 6 years old. I don't like what they can do to people. It's not like they really choose to. They aren't alive, but what they cause, I don't like that. But I like them just in a field. Like, I've never seen one, thank God. But I like watching videos of them just in a field. Cicadas, as you might have noticed. I think you can see my love for cicadas. You can already see my love for cicadas way back in 2023 with my Sounds of Summer animatic, which was based on them. That is the sound of summer for me. I feel like it has become a kind of symbol of myself, or for myself. Every single time I think of me, I relate myself to cicadas, and I don't even know why. I don't know, I like their symbolism of how they rip their skin off and just start screaming and singing. Like, those little guys, they just crawl out of the dirt, just go up into a tree, rip their skin off, and just start screaming. And usually they scream that they want a certain female genitalia. I think they're funny. I think they're cute. They look kind of stupid, just like me. What else do I love? Gay, of course. We love the LGBTQIA+ community, which, surprise, surprise, I am a part of. I know you would have never guessed. Oh man, it's so surprising. Now, what part of it am I in? That's none of your business. Hydrangeas! I have an odd obsession with hydrangeas that I don't even know how to explain. And recently, birds. I know way too much about birds. You wouldn't even want to know how much I know about birds. Things I dislike, the very basic stuff, like rudeness, of course. I don't like rude people. People, still. Every single year I dislike people, and I still do. But I will be a bit more specific. It's not that I hate everyone, okay? I don't hate everyone. I specifically hate people around here, where I live, which lack understanding and empathy, but I'm sure that other places too have these type of people. They're way too common. But I just don't like people who aren't empathetic. Like, please. Me talking, I hate talking. I always have to force my voice to sound normal, and it hurts. Hypocrisy. Like, everyone is a bit of a hypocrite. But the people who are just straight up hypocrites in relation to things that hurt others, I can't stand those, which I've met too many of, to the point that I'm actually tired. Ableism, way too prevalent. The government, I don't even have to explain why. Line art, too much of a hassle. And manipulation. People who lack control and try to take advantage of others deserve to be alone, preferably in therapy, so not exactly alone, until they learn to better themselves. Also, each year got darker for some reason. We started off with like this light purplish background, which was just me using my digital art style. So yeah, I guess we have a light purplish background there. Then we have a darker purple, but like still mid-purple. And then now we have dark purple. And who knows, maybe in the next 3 to 2 years, which seems to be the time which I take to make a new one of these, I'll just go completely dark and I don't know. A while back, I asked in the community tab for you to give me questions because it's Q&A time with Angel Kill, old YouTube style. I got a few questions. I also challenged you all to come up with at least 4 questions, I think, just as a, I don't know, as a joke. A lot of you succeeded. So it isn't hard, right? I don't know. I was just being silly. So let's get straight into it. Lazzy Razzy asks, fave beverage. I'm a coffee addict, or better saying cappuccino addict, but coffee connoisseurs will get mad at me for calling it coffee because I use coffee to make it, but I don't care. I drink merely 3 mugs a day and look that I'm intolerant to caffeine, so I can't use too much coffee or I will actually have a heart attack and die. Fave sleeping position? Honestly, I wouldn't really know. Fetal position? I don't know. I sleep on a moldy mattress on the floor that has deeply sunken in where I lay down, to the point of a hole, so I never actually sleep well. I actually recently found out that most mattresses are made in a way that you should flip them and turn them around, because they like put themselves into place again. I just am afraid of doing that because, as I said, I sleep on a moldy mattress. I wouldn't really like sleeping near mold. I've already been molding enough, okay? It's not good for my health. Fave YouTubers? I only really watch 2 channels because of who those people are. That being the Distractable Podcast. My entire personality is based on Bob, Mark, and Wade. And Jay from the Cub Scouts. I do watch more stuff, of course, but that's if I feel like it. Also, a lot of them don't post often, like Storm Chasers for example. I love Pico's Hank, but he has way too much cinematography going on for him to post weekly. Also, tornadoes don't happen weekly, so that's another thing, right? Art hot takes. Oh, spicy. You want me to get cancelled, don't you? I would love to get cancelled. Someday I will, I'm sure of it. You don't know how much I fear people, okay? I'm sure that the people who have hurt me, and I'm pretty sure that I, of course, as well hurt them, but I would actually know because no one ever told me anything so that I could fix stuff. I'm sure that those people will come out with screenshots of things out of context that I've said, and they will be like, look, this Angel, piece of shit. I'm sure that will happen at some point, so let's just wait until I get cancelled. In advance, I'm sorry. Alright, hot takes, let's get back to topic. I feel like a lot of people don't improve because they're very stuck to their art style. And I say this out of experience. Back in the day, I never actually wanted to change my drawings to improve because I didn't want to change my art style because it was me, in quotes, nowadays looking back at it. I wouldn't say it was me really, look, it's ugly, okay? Like, I still look at them and I think that they are cute because I look at myself back then. I was younger than I am now, so I see myself as younger than I am now, which is true. So I see that person and I'm like, oh, how cute. You're just a little fella. But, you know, it wasn't good. That was until I finally gave in and got out of my comfort zone, and that's when I actually started improving, surprise, surprise. And even nowadays I wonder if I'm falling back into my old habit, which I hope I'm not. I would love to improve, but I feel like lately I've been getting a bit too messy. So let's see how I deal with that. What's your favorite stage of the art process? That's a complicated one. It's easier to say what's my least favorite part more so than my favorite one, which is line art, of course. That's also why I don't do it. But I don't want to simply leave it at that. I love carving out the lights from the shadows after I apply the multiply layer and use the lasso tool to select and erase parts. I really like that. I think that already gives it enough of a rendering that you can see the finished illustration more so than before, maybe? Where did you start posting art? Funny thing you asked that. Time for some Angel Kill lore! Woohoo! first place, I felt comfortable enough to share my drawings, was on Amino of all things. My god, does anyone even remember Amino? I published 2, I think? I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure I posted 2 there. One of which I could only get this profile pic back from, very pixelated. And the second place that I posted my illustrations to was Wattpad. This was all 2018, okay? I won't show you the drawings because I'm sure that book is still up and I don't want people going after it. And in 2019, I found out people posted art on Instagram, and that's when I ruined my life and joined that place. That's also when I found out the art community was a thing, but I'll get more into that another day. Bug-Eater Kun asks, do you have any design advice? If it's character design, then of course. I always tend to focus on a more memorable shape for my character, for their silhouette, keeping in mind what they're meant to transmit. If they're more fierce, make it sharper and pointier. If they're stronger, I don't know, big and rectangular. More elegant, make it more flowy. I also like to use one main color for the memorability of things. Think of like the Powerpuff Girls, for example. I tend to make characters designed for stories, so my designs are very simple and easy to draw. I wouldn't really be able to advise on how to make these really cool characters that are full of accessories, since I don't really do that. What media inspire you the most? Can be anything, book, series, comic, game, etc. I don't know if it's inspires or inspired. They're both very different. One is in past term and one is in present term. So that varies. Of course, for example, the Pecluva story is obviously inspired by Alice in Wonderland, and Little Miss Future is inspired by Gilmore Girls. So one is a book and the other one a show. While Zelium is inspired by my own life, of course, and also songs that I identify with since it's very much based on me, surprisingly. What is the most underrated art advice? Now we are getting more into a little sneaky little hoo-hoo. Drawing intentionally. Even I fall into the habit of Control-Zing a lot and working on autopilot without being present. It's good to think what the next line you will put down is. It also helps with drawing faster and getting more used to your own way of drawing. I think it's very intimate with yourself. I recommend doing that. And the favorite drink, I already answered, which is cappuccino. Or coffee. I usually tend to say coffee, but let's not get into that. I don't want to fight coffee connoisseurs. They are crazy. Jade N. J.Aiden, I'm sorry, asks, what inspired you the most? Now we're getting in past term. Now, I don't know if you mean art-wise or life-wise. Since inspired is in past term, I can answer easily. Life-wise, obviously, my experience, but watching people succeed gave me slight hope in being able to achieve things too. Art-wise, who inspired me in the past was Lord Grease, Sasuchi 96, and Hyananatsu, and also Draw Kill, that I can name from the top of my head. How to find an exact art style. I actually have a video planned very soon, where I tell you how I found my art style, in which I could probably give you a deeper idea, but I'll give you some quicker advice. First, I would advise you to learn the principles of anatomy and light and composition. Those are like the 3 main things you have to learn before anything, because you need to have an understanding of form to be able to stylize it. But art styles come from experimenting with stuff, so whether it be how someone draws eyes and another one line art and another one's use of rendering and so on, it's an amalgamation of things you liked while you were experimenting with stuff. It might not even need to come from another artist, but just from you staring at your own artwork and being like, what if I do this thing instead? What do you like to render more? Example, hair. I find it funny you used hair as an example, since me and hair will be the death of each other. I add too much hair to my characters and then I have to render it all, which isn't my favorite thing. My favorite thing would be rendering skin, specifically hands, which might surprise some people. Favorite artwork of all time. I peaked during the Rosalina. I can already see things I could change, which is good. It means I've improved. But overall, it shows me that I can, in fact, do bigger things that are more detailed. Another one would be Zillium's Life. I really like this one as well. It's Chris Emmer asks, who's your biggest inspiration? Now we get to present inspiration. So, nope, Illustrator currently inspires me. Like, I've studied artists, sure, but it's not the same as like I'm constantly taking inspiration from them. I'm not really doing that with any Illustrator. The only one to inspire me, who is an artist too, is Markiplier. Surprise, I guess, I don't know. Because he also has the habit of getting way too oddly into very specific things. And he has a huge dedication to his craft and improving it. He has such a determination that it just makes me believe that I too can succeed at all the things I put myself up to, and it just motivates me. Even though I surely don't have as much energy as he has, because I'm anemic and a completely different person than him. I'm not him, so I wouldn't feel the same way as he does. What made you want to start posting on YouTube? Funny thing you ask, once again. Angel kill lore time, woohoo! When I was young, in my preteens, I loved watching YouTube, which honestly I should have got moderation for. If you're a kid, don't watch my channel. I talk about very triggering, heavy topics. Trust me, enjoy the little innocence you still have. And if you don't, I'm very sorry. But I was chilling on YouTube and then I fell on Littlest Pet Shop videos and thought to myself, I do have Littlest Pet Shop toys. So, you all know where I went, right? Started an account, made Littlest Pet Shop videos, the same ones that people made way back when in 2015. And at some point I gave up. I deleted those videos and disappeared from the face of that account. I actually started this account when I realized that I couldn't keep a normal 70-hour per week job, which doesn't even pay minimum wage, which yes, that's unfortunately the norm here where I live, but I couldn't do it because of how bad my social anxiety is. I don't go anywhere alone because I can't talk to people. Now you ask me, oh, but this is social media. I honestly don't know why this doesn't make me as anxious as going anywhere IRL. I don't know, sometimes it still does, but I guess it's easier to convince myself that you can't come jumping out of my screen and screaming at my face or anything. So that's why I'm here. How long have you been drawing? I could easily be a boring kind of artist who is like, oh, I've been drawing my whole life. Which is true, I have been. But I'll be more specific. In my folder series, I do mention that I started drawing people in an anime or manga art style at the end of 2016. Before that, I was a furry, but not in a cool way. And before that, I was an MLP drawing person, but bad at it. And before that, I drew my mom, the usual. I never actually took it seriously though, because I didn't have any brain cells. I still don't to this day, right? So back then I never actually put 2 and 2 together. And I never realized that these anime girls you'd search on Google were drawn by artists. I just thought that they were screenshots from a show. That's why for the majority of my time drawing, my drawings look like poo-poo. Let's say I've been drawing more seriously from 2017 onward, which I'm pretty sure was when I started watching tutorials, so 8 years. The Operator 909 asks, what's your favorite food? French fries all the way, baby. Honestly, potatoes in general. Could be fried, boiled, baked. Could be filling, could be side dish, could be main dish. I love potatoes. But French fries with garlic sauce just hit the spot, or putting them on pizza and letting it absorb the pizza juices. Just, ooh, so good. Also, I'm a sucker for ice cream, so you got a salty and a sweet. Omori I Love Mari asks, first of all, same, I too love Mari, poor girl. They ask, how did you come up with your persona design? My persona literally looks like me. I do use them for story-based content, like in my Sounds of Summer animatic, but it's still metaphorically referring to me and my life. Angel Kill is based on me. I have the Jesus middle part, long straight hair. I'm like the darkest of blondes, but people just say brown. I tend to use purpler tones for my persona since I love purple, and using color theory on their own, it would look like brown hair with pale as that gray skin, brown eyes, and a hoodie. I have that hoodie too, which I've worn so much that I don't know how it's still alive. I don't wear it all the time, of course. Living in a subtropical country means it's always hot and humid, so yeah, I don't wear this hoodie all the time, more so in the quote-unquote winter. This year was the first year since 1996 where we had an actual winter. Or at least that's what the farmer says. And of course, Master Chief 2026 asks, I don't know why you're living in the future, but I'm glad you are. Please tell me things get better. Origin of the third eye and username, which I was going to include either way in this video, but since you asked, I might as well answer you. This also complements my persona story since, well, my name is not Angel Kill, and I don't have 3 eyes in real life. My nickname is Angel, since it's part of my real name. I use it because I fall under the non-binary aspect of the world, which maybe I'll make a video talking about my experience with, which I'm sure will offend someone. Maybe someday, let's see. I like it, and I use it because it's neutral. The kill part came from an auditory hallucination, of which I have way too frequently of. Once I was just lying in bed because I just couldn't physically deal with my brain anymore, and voices all around me just kept repeating, kill, 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 to me, so it was technically like me, my name, Angel, and kill, so Angel, kill, kill, Angel, kill. Since that impacted me a lot, I decided that when I changed accounts mid-mental breakdown because of family issues, I'd use that experience as a username. The third eye comes from me being a very spiritual person. Now, this goes to each person's belief, okay? You could not be spiritual, but you can't force me to not be spiritual like you, just as I won't force my spirituality onto you. I have had my third eye open since I was a kid. I come from a lineage of witches on my grandma's side of the family, so I have a strong connection to the supernatural world, and it has greatly affected me my whole life. Since I didn't want to add the usual cliche third eye in the middle of the forehead, and I was obsessed with Marina's Electro Heart album at the time, I always go back to obsessing over it, so nothing much has changed. I decided that just like her character has a heart on her cheek, I'd have my third eye there. And that's how we got here. And I guess that I answered everything. Let's see how I will edit this, because my god, I've spoken a lot today. I love doing these. I've always dreamed of doing a Q&A, so I'm glad that I finally have. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Also, please tell me more about yourself in the comments if you got this far. I would love to know more about you too and meet you. So I hope you have a nice day and night, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!